JVI Sports Network Arena Lacrosse League season-long coverage back at the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena, ladies and gentlemen. I am Matthew Carrick. The Six Nations Snipers playing their second in 2 days. Oh, Warren Hill, his second save, and he starts it off in a big way, throwing out the left arm and pushing the rebound into the corner. The Snipers are facing the Oshawa Outlaws, the defending and inaugural Arena Lacrosse League Cup champions. As there's their captain, Mike Triolo, through the middle, takes a shot that Hill saves. White jerseys with orange shoulder caps left to right here for the Six Nations Snipers, who are riding a 2-game win streak coming into tonight, including 17-12 over the Whitby Steelhawks in yesterday's game. That game you can see on our YouTube channel. As a save made there by Rance Vigneault, who gets the start today for the Oshawa Outlaws. Played on the near side for Cam Mancini. Bouncer up top. Nick Tchaikovsky. Mancini. Big pick in front from Triolo, that big body. Mancini's pushed up high. They go back to Triolo, a low shot looking for the foot of Warren Hill, and it just bounces wide, and that's a shot clock violation. Joel Furman with the call. He's joined on the floor by John Watson and Phil Kluche. Your three officials for this evening's game. Number of games that'll be up on the YouTube channel if you're watching this, as Riley Johnson walks in. Spin move there in behind of Vigneault, and it does roll through the legs, picked up and down the floor. Paul Jelly finds the trail man. Shot by John St. John, another save from Hill. He is dialed in early here in this first quarter, of which we've played 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Wayne Van Every from the line, the leading point scorer for the Snipers this year. Another save there made by Vigneault. It rolls to Roger Weiss, who makes his return to the Snipers lineup here this afternoon. Shot off the post, goes up and finds the rafters. And it looks like Snipers are going to be awarded possession. Roger Weiss slots in. Craig Point, Tom Montour slide out of the lineup. So you sort of get the sense that although they're back in the 6th place position, number of players, even that we've seen this weekend, can really make some moves headed to quarterfinals on March 31st, and then Final Four weekend, April 7th and 8th at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Interference there in the corner against Alex Martin. Hands the ball back to the Outlaws. They've got 8 seconds to get it over half. Arena Lacrosse League does play under the NLL rulebook. If this is your first time watching the ALL, another left arm save made by Hill. Looked like he may have stepped out of the crease there and coming back in, but Joel Furman allows it, and mishandled at the line, picked up by Mike Triolo. Former Toronto Beaches player, KW Brave, as well. I think made 3 stops in his final season. He's played winter ball the last couple of years, also with the Brooklyn Merchants. As this one bounces in front, eventually finds its way to the crease where Warren Hill gets a stick on it. And he'll send it over the heads of everybody into the stick of Riley Johnson. Johnson outside, back into the stick of Cecil Montour, who slides back in, wearing number 77 today, to the net and scoring. I believe that's Vern Hill off the side wall, which is sponsored by Epoch Lacrosse, Froster Active Kids, and Fox 40, the Arena Lacrosse League major sponsors. On the near side, Paul Jelly controlling the faceoff. As that ball fell dormant in the crease, off the shot right in front of Warren Hill. Van Every backpedaling. He'll flip for Weiss. Back for Van Every, the cutter. There was Weiss getting the pass from Van Every, pardon me. And the interception from Tchaikovsky. He runs up over center. Bouncing around near side. Tchaikovsky, a couple whacks, shoots it around the defender, Vern Hill. They credited, it sounded like Laskowitz with that first goal. As Six Nations brings it down the near side now. Montour. Looking for a cutter and unable to find his man. Another errant ball in the corner here. Six Nations able to recover as we played 6 minutes. There will be a timeout called with halfway through the quarters. We get another goal here for the Snipers. And that looks like Wenster Green getting in the middle. I believe that's Mark DeBrone back on the restraining line. So we go back to the face-off circle. Early movement from Riley Johnson. Saw that a couple times last night and it was allowed. What I thought was early movement anyways. He dominated face-offs last night against Whitby. They tried 3 different players against Riley Johnson, but they just had no answer, did the Steelhawks. Here's a shot attempt by Tchaikovsky. Chopped at and it goes wide. Oshawa able to recover though, 20 seconds left on their shot clock. Jake Kranz stepped in the way of another Tchaikovsky shot, forcing it wide. St. John on a bounce to Triolo. And the return feed, I believe that's Nick Andrioli looking for it on the near side. He'll just dump it in the corner now with the shot clock about to expire and head off for a change. 8 minutes left in the quarter, 2-0 here for the Snipers as they walk in on offense again. Took them a bit to get their wheels rolling yesterday, but a huge second quarter. Here's the shot and covered up by Vigneault. We get a shoving match to the right of Vigneault, just outside his crease. Laskowitz involved. Laskowitz now slapping at the stick of Steven Berger, who does get over before the 8 count. And they work to the far side. Running sidearm shot there from John St. John as he backed into space. And it'll drop down in front of Tyler Woodman, who starts the counterattack. With speed now over center. Now the restraining line. DeBrone, brief push there. Van Every can't handle it. Johnson taking it into the corner, and Carl Legger. Looked like he was on the back of Johnson, but they award it to Six Nations. Or pardon me, Oshawa. And Oshawa up over center now, led by Steph Charbonneau. 7 minutes remaining in the quarter. That puts us in officials timeout territory as Tchaikovsky draws a double team in the corner, tried to spin away and send it back. And Chancey Johnson and I believe Charbonneau over there on the far side. Or is it Andrioli? John St. John. 5-on-5 floor strength. 2 players in the box will serve full 2 minutes plus the next whistle. As a bit of a give and go there with Dylan Goddard as he set the pick. And just off the tip of the stick of Dylan Goddard. This is the 3rd season now. I know only the 2nd for ALL, but some of these guys are playing together here in the Winter League. So you'll see a lot of chemistry from the offense of this Oshawa club. Ball starts far side. Now back for Van Every again. Shot clock down to 15 seconds. Working in the awkward backhand there from Wenster Green. went way wide, and Laskowitz the only guy to come out with it, and Wenster Green is going to undress Vigneault in front of the crease, and that'll make it 3-0. Making it 3-0 for Six Nations, who, as we already said, rolling now, 2-game win streak, ties them with the Peterborough Timbermen in 6th place coming into tonight. Only 1 game back of Oshawa. This is a big one in terms of quarterfinal match seeding. Again, Arena Lacrosse League quarterfinals will take place on March 31st. Be sure to visit arenalacrosseleague.ca for dates, venues, and times. And on the face-off violation, we will get the officials' timeout. And we'll return with more Arena Lacrosse League action from the Iroquois Lacrosse Arena. Oshawa restarts at center, looking to get on the board here as we've played 9 minutes already in the quarter. A hard shot wide and high. Picked up just inside the restraining line now by Cam Mancini. Another save. Part of the reason they haven't been able to score is Warren Hill, who is having himself a night right now over in that sniper net, as that is about his 4th big save of the quarter. Then you look down the other way and see Van Every giving to Roger Weiss, as this offense has all of a sudden stepped up. Shot working off the far side, and you can make it 4-0 now, as Roger Weiss is going to get himself on the board. And against Whitby yet is, as we said, available on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button to be notified every time a new video is posted from the Arena Lacrosse League. But the Whitby game is there, and Whitby was never able to get within 4 goals of the Snipers, and that's where we sit right now. They did a great job last night, even with a bit of a short bench, keeping things within reach and comfortable. Big hit on the far side. Riley Johnson's in there. Steph Charbonneau always seems to find himself near a loose ball. A former Barrie Lakeshores player, former Coquitlam Adenac as well in his grad year, playing in the Minto Cup. Found himself in the NLL draft this season as Triolo now accepts the bounce pass, and Charbonneau will head off. Through the middle, John St. John around his back, looking into the corner. Crans a couple big whacks on the ball carrier. Tchaikovsky ducks under a check, and loose ball in the crease. Finally pulled out there by Kessler Doolittle. And Woodman thinks he's got a lane on the near side. But Triolo's going to block that off. And the Snipers will slow things down. Back into the corner, Woodman. He's got a pick in front of him. Goes to Wenster Green now. Green cutting back for Woodman. Bad angle shot, and Vigneault crouches over top. And Vigneault now going to launch it down the floor, where it's handled by Cam Mancini. Over the restraining line, has help. The shot intercepted, and up the floor with speed come the Snipers. In all alone, a shovel shot there blocked by Triolo. And Triolo will posture up in against the boards, uses that big body to get it up towards center for Steven Berger. Berger for Goddard, now Tchaikovsky. Another former Barrie player who has it on the near side in his 2nd Arena Lacrosse League season. Spin back, works around a pick from Ryan Nolan. Trying to get a shot away, and just the smothering Sniper defense, taking all angles away. They still lead by 4 with 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Vern Hill looking for Riley Johnson in front. Errant pass off the boards. Mark DeBrone now will run it up over the timeline. And now the restraining line as the offense gets on the floor in behind. Outlaws trying to close the quarter here. Looking to erase that 0 on the board. DeBrone, a big pick in front of Triolo. Shot from St. John and full splits from Hill. Got the stick on it. head down, racing down the floor is Woodman. Has help in Doolittle and Hill. Tried to go to the trailer. And it's ball down, picked up here by the Outlaws. Jogged up over center by Ryan Farazovic. And he'll give for Tchaikovsky. Here's a bounce shot. One goes way high, nearly into the rafters, but it didn't touch anything. 2 on the clock. Tchaikovsky scores. Before we get into the quick offensive change period, couple big whacks off the face-off dot. Riley Johnson had the biggest one, and that'll take Paul Jelly off with him, as the 2 face-off men head to the box, I believe both for a slash. Joel Furman with the emphatic call. Minute 38 left in the quarter. Looks like Roger Weiss will start with the ball at center. No Craig Point in the lineup today for the Snipers. He's second on the team with 51 points behind Van Every's 57 as Weiss, his shot goes off the backboards. Ryan Nolan starting the possession. Now Tchaikovsky into the corner. Goddard and Triolo. Hard sidearm shot. Round a couple players. Hill saw all of that as we hit the final minute of play here in the first quarter. Darius Anderson sidesteps his way into the zone. Switching hands is Hill. And Vern Hill went over the shoulder after switching hands and sent it off the backboards. He's back playing defense now as the quick shot from Charbonneau. Hill makes the save and will hang on with 41 seconds left here in the first quarter. Van Every. See if they try quick shot to go 2 for 1. The shot clock in their zone is actually off right now. So we'll have 15 seconds left, and it bounces to Vigneault. 25 seconds left in the quarter. We'll see if they bring Rance to the bench. They don't. Goddard from his wrong side takes the shot. It hits Hill high. He drops to a knee, but no whistle as it lays in the crease. Couple bounces to get that down the floor. Alex Martin couldn't hang on. 5 seconds left now, 3 as Oshawa's at center, and it's going to be a long shot from Nolan as he collides with Wayne Van Every, and Van Every's bucket goes flying, and he'll take a shot at Nolan after the fact. Penalties coming here after the first quarter where the Snipers lead 4-1. We'll sort that out after this timeout. You're watching Arena Lacrosse League action presented by the JVI Sports Network. So then I would need 77. Triolo to the face-off dot this time against Cecil Montour. And it's going to be Triolo winning it. And down the floor, Tchaikovsky off the inside of the post. This one's going to head down the floor. Rance Vigneault out for it. Forechecker right there as Vigneault flips it up to John St. John. 4-1 after the first quarter. We did switch ends here, so Oshawa now working left to right on your screen. And they are on the power play as well for a minute 20. As they tried to lift it up and release Jake Kranz, and it's going to take a lot more than that to get it over top of Mike Triolo, who puts it back in the corner. Triolo a low shot now that Hill saw all the way and makes the save. This one picked up over top of everybody. Down the floor and a shot. I believe that's Wenster Green in 33. As Vigneault makes the save. Luke Laskowitz holding it near side. Cecil Montour goes to the bench for Roger Weiss. Cecil Montour looking for Weiss, called for it off the bench and couldn't handle the passes. It's picked up by Oshawa now. John St. John has a man in front. Big pick And they can't do anything with it as St. John slows down again. Now Triolo's got it one more time. 10 seconds left in the power play. They go to Triolo, the shot, and shrug save. There by Hill, and Warren Hill, a second one may have been the better one as Triolo went over the shoulder in one motion on the pickup, and we're back to even strength, having played 2 minutes here in the second quarter. Vern Hill pushed out of the way as the ball bounces into the crease of Vigneault. He gets it up to center. All kinds of trouble for it for Carl Lager. John St. John, a couple side steps, takes the shot, and Hill makes the save. Getting the pass out, and Woodman will run on his wrong side. Van Every, the shot, doesn't miss those very often. But it's going to bounce off the dasher straight to Charbonneau as they were trying to go in one motion to the far side of the crease where Oshawa picks up. Jake Kranz immediately on Cam Mancini as Oshawa in the middle of a change, and they're going to double team Triolo here to give Mancini, and that opens room for John St. John, who walks in, and Warren Hill's going to hang on to the rebound. 3 minutes gone in the quarter. Warren Hill is having a night here at the ILA, place he's very familiar with, having come up through the Rebels organization as well as the Six Nations Arrows, and backup for the Chiefs as well. He's seen the entire circuit as Laskowitz gets driven into the crease. Net goes flying. We get the crease violation. And Charbonneau will take it at the restraining line. Kyle Isaacs plays defense on him as it's back up top for Andrioli. Near side, Goddard. Tchaikovsky and Triolo both spun off picks just as the ball arrived, and that lets Vern Hill pick it up. Him and Chancey Johnson on the 2-on-1. Johnson the shot, and it's over the arm of Vigneault and into the net. The goal from Chancey Johnson, making it 5-1 here. Johnson on his offside, still managing to make it work on the 2-on-1. As we go back to the faceoff dot, Riley Johnson. Scrum draw on the near side, Jake Kranz. Pinballed off a couple of Oshawa players. Neither him nor Laskowitz could take it. Another defensive stand here, shoveled towards the net and in for Charbonneau. Johnson and Paul Jelly, the two main face-off guys for both teams. And again, we get Jelly and Johnson tangling after the ball leaves. Wenster Green, a flip pass to the top of the crease. Yeah, that staggered Vigneault as he took a couple steps backwards, but did keep everything out of the net. Mark DeBrone over center to the near side now. Charbonneau. And Triolo. Triolo leans into a defender. Faked going high and then goes down low. Way late whistle. And Warren Hill seems to have kept it out. Both officials right there. Bench arguing that that went in. But did everything in his power, waiting for the whistle that never came. And took the net out of position and everything else. Did Warren Hill, who keeps it a 3-goal lead for Six Nations here. Up top, they work it towards the half-boards. Laskowitz trying to get by one. Ferezovic stands him up. Back to the crease, the shot, and through the crease was the sniper ball carrier. So the Oshawa Outlaws, once again the defending ALL champions. Bit of a struggle this year, only 5-7 record after rolling through the league last season. Had a pretty good start to the year with Scotty Comer as their backstop, but as he went down in injury, it's now been Rance Vigneault stepping in here tonight. And Ryan Schutzkowski. This one loose all the way up top. Brief bump there against Gage Board. Couple more whacks at it. Laskowitz and Board over the back. Two arms go up for the officials. And I believe Board's going to go to the box for a hold. From the Junior ALL, sponsored by FAK. The Junior Timbermen taking all three division championships, U13, 18, and 22, over Six Nations. And there's a shot from Roger Weiss. Seen that shot for years, and man, it's still got some power behind it. To arenalacrosseleague.ca for more information on that great minor program. Riley Johnson called for the moving pick, as threw a bit of a hip check there on Jelly as their individual battle continues. Tchaikovsky all the way to the outside. Kranz chases him to the far side of the floor. Triolo looked to set a pick. Ball goes to St. John, now Goddard. Far side, Tchaikovsky doesn't get it through the pile. And Tchaikovsky back for the loose ball, tied up with Johnson. Picked up here by Six Nations, and twice on the same possession, Riley Johnson called for a moving screen that the bench disagreed with. So you've got 8 minutes left here in the second quarter. And John St. John gets it on the near side. Here's Mark DeBrone and Triolo. Triolo, a swim move. Back up top for DeBrone. He takes a shot wide off the backboards, and that'll be an over and back violation. With 7:41 left as we approach officials' timeout territory. Snipers handling it near side. Kyle Isaacs racing in. Shot off the foot of Rance Vigneault, up out of play, and will take the officials' timeout with the score 6-2 in favor of the Snipers. Snipers restart the action outside of the timeout. Laskowitz, double fives, tucked underneath of the kidney pads there. Good look at the body armor these guys wear as Van Every tries to find Johnson right on the crease. Stolen away there by Rance Vigneault. Another former Toronto Beaches player, now with the Cobourg Kodiaks of Major Series in the summer. Long bounce pass from Vern Hill into the stick of Laskowitz again. As Six Nations takes a while to get this change in. There's a shot off the arm of Vigneault. Rebound straight to Jake Strocher. Brings it up over center. He'll stay on now. They got one behind everybody, and Laskowitz is going to hang on to it. Had all kinds of time. Runs through the crease, so he couldn't touch that ball. And Strocher racing back for it. Get another opportunity as nobody picked up Laskowitz, who was all alone in behind. St. John to Goddard and Triolo now. And as they tried to turn it back to the left side of the floor, it was intercepted and ran down the floor by Kessler Doolittle, who puts it behind Vigneault. And that's why you get the reaction you did. Kessler without a wooden stick. He spends most of his summer with the traditional woody. Another procedure call there against Riley Johnson. Triolo going high to bring this pass down. Jelly will flip into the corner. Leave that St. John around his back. Tchaikovsky the same. And it goes wider than it off the boards as Triolo picks it up. Triolo up top. Nick Andrioli now. He's dancing around at the restraining line. Shot there. Oh, heads up. Phil Kluche. as Andrioli tried to save possession, but the shot clock does end it there for the Outlaws. Mass exodus off that Sniper bench. This one bounces off a stick and goes straight to Vigneault. Van Every trying to stand up board off the bench. Triolo and Hill danced all out of shape, and the ball ends up in the back of the net from Mike Triolo, the first of his night. Paul Jelly, Riley Johnson back at the dot again and again. A big battle for it as it pops free. Ryan Nolan after it. Vern Hill gains possession, nearly pushed over center, and now is, says the official. Frustrating night for Riley Johnson as now Cam Mancini starts it here for the Outlaws. Tchaikovsky couldn't hang on as it went to St. John. Here's Triolo. Snipers guarding against the dunk shot, which we saw in the NLL this last weekend. High shot there from Tchaikovsky. And St. John, a high shot off the dasher board. It ends up still in the crease, picked up by the Outlaws, and they can't find John St. John on the near side. Still just 7-3. It seems like it's been all Snipers, but they only trail by 4. Do the Oshawa Outlaws. So still plenty of time if they can rein in a couple of these errant shots. As Cecil Montour backs into coverage. Now the strip made by Steven Berger. It bounced into the crease before Berger got it back. Bench wants him to slow things down here so they can get the change. Andrioli near side. Andrioli, Triolo off the bench, a hard shot that heads off the backboards. And that should be a fairly easy halftime conversation for Outlaws head coach Steve McCarthy. As a lot of these shots have been wide tonight for the Outlaws. Hard shot from Van Every. Hits Mark DeBrone, and he didn't look like it did absolutely anything to him as it's on a bounce to Seth Charbonneau now. Van Every can let it fly and took a big chunk of DeBrone, but he just jogged it off to the bench. Off the bench, Tchaikovsky straight to the middle. His shot saved by Hill. Bounces off a couple boards, straight back to Charbonneau. Reset of the shot clock as Kyle Isaacs reached for it. And Hill off to his right. Nifty move to get it back into the stick. Off the shot from Andrioli. Now carried up over center. On a bounce to Roger Weiss. 2.5 minutes left in the quarter. 7-3 lead for the Six Nations Snipers. They've been on top the entire way as Oshawa now intercepts, and they're going to send 3 Outlaws players. They'll gain 30 feet as Triolo steps onto the floor. Triolo near side and a big whiff there as falling was Charbonneau. Picked up in the corner though. As Oshawa back for Triolo. John St. John in the middle, his shot off the arm of Hill. And it's going to bounce off the glass, down in front of board. Gage Board walking along the wall. He's got Kranz and Vern Hill on him. Charbonneau now coming to help out. Ball's loose, and Hill will pick up. And the home bench appreciating the effort of Jake Kranz as he heads back to the bench. As a shot here and a goal for the Snipers. That resulted in a goal back the other way. Johnson and Jelly. It's been those two all night long, and this is one of their fiercest battles at the dot. Jelly lost his stick. Outlaws still trying to get it, though, as falling there was DeBrone. Jelly. Johnson took a big-time run at him, And a big sound as they collided with the boards, but Jelly gets it to the far side for Triolo as we near the last minute of play in the half. Andrioli, Goddard looking for Tchaikovsky on the far side. Ball down there. Miscommunication between Tchaikovsky and Mancini as Triolo a couple extra whacks just as the Snipers were headed out of the way. And I think it's Wayne Van Every behind the play. We'll see what they decide to do. Pulling the goaltender would do no good on the power play, or make no difference, I should say. As Triolo here for St. John, far side Tchaikovsky to the crease. Goddard, now Triolo, and Hill made the save, and Triolo looks skyward on the far side. Oh boy. 37 seconds as Tchaikovsky picks it up at center. Back for St. John, middle Triolo. Another shot from Tchaikovsky, another save from Hill, and he's going to wait out the clock here with 22 seconds. Hill was trying to call timeout, and now Stu Montour says it as Kyle Isaacs, they had Vern Hill wide open, but they're going to stop the clock with 18 seconds left in the half. Alex Martin in the set. They do have Warren Hill on the bench. So 5-on-5 here, as it's still a penalty for the Snipers. Working it into the corner. Back near side for Laskowitz. Cutter is Roger Weiss. Laskowitz on the boards, and they're trying to keep it at bay, and a big hit, and that's going to draw a crowd. First one coming in, Alex Martin, and then he goes high on Charbonneau. Laskowitz is still down here, right on the boards, and this has taken us to halftime. We have a 2-minute penalty checking from behind for Steph Charbonneau, 2 minutes for roughing to Alex Martin, and still a minute on the clock in the initial Snipers penalty as Riley Johnson wins himself another face-off as we're back here at the ILA. Second of 2 games here this weekend. 2 games at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center this weekend. One on Sunday at 3 p.m. One just about to get started as we record this. The Monarchs hosting the St. Catharines Shockwave, and the Paris River Wolves hosting 2 games as well. The 2 from the track and the 2 from the ILA will be posted as soon as they're available. And we'll try and get the other 2 for you as well, as this one here is 8-3 in favor of the Snipers, and that man right there has been a large part of it, Warren Hill, as he makes another left arm save. Dan Weiss scored in that second quarter. We incorrectly credited it to Kessler Doolittle. So just as I was praising him for scoring normally defensively, that's probably why it seemed like an odd play. Although Dan Weiss, normally a defensive player as well. Kyle Isaacs, you could see that field style one-handed cradle as he came flying down the near boards with the long hair flowing behind him. Laskowitz back on the floor. Good to see him get up after that hit. Again, that sent Charbonneau to the box for 2 minutes. Weiss is up top. We are 5-on-5 as Van Every picks out of the way of Weiss. And the arm's gone high from referee Joel Furman. And I believe it's going to be Berger for, should be slashing. Oh, stop, don't touch anything. So Weiss will start this power play. They go to Van Every. And back down in the quarter for Braden Hill. Over far side, Cecil Montour around the back of Weiss. And Van Every tried to go weakly to Hill, and it was intercepted by DeBrone. Now quickly to the far side, a quick release shot goes off the backboards and into the rafters by Laskowitz. The names on that power play are pretty dangerous. Not as star-studded as we've seen from teams like the Arrows and the Chiefs in this building, but still, that is pretty potent if they can capitalize. And as we already said, a couple players missing tonight. Quinn Palace had a number of points in limited action this season so far. Craig Point not in tonight. Snipers defender lifting the Oshawa player off his feet with the cross check on the far side as Andrioli killed off a large chunk of that 5-minute penalty and took the shot clock violation as Montour sets up here again. Laskowitz down low. Weiss up top, pick in front from Van Every. Shot comes there from Montour. And the save over to the far side. Here's Weiss. Big pick in front by Danton Miller, who's wearing number 77. He's got at least one goal tonight, I believe. And down the floor, Oshawa. They're going to get one short-handed here. Quarter. And as we say that, Danton Miller is leaving the bench. Slowly on his way to the room. Taking his stick with him, though, so I imagine that could be a stick, a broken shaft. Anyways, Riley Johnson wins the face-off, clean back to Kyle Isaacs. As it's played on the near side, Vern Hill and now Wayne Van Every. Hill back into position. Still on the power play are the Snipers. As Weiss has it up top, a sidearm shot. Vigneault goes to meet it off the belly pad. Will pick it up out of the crease and send it on a hop down the floor. Goddard, him and Kranz got turned around each other. And meanwhile, the ball was bouncing towards the crease of Warren Hill, where he hangs on, sends it the other way, and Roger Weiss will get his second power play goal of the game. Right now, Six Nations and Oshawa in the bottom of what would be the quarterfinal bracket. Toronto Monarchs will host and be in the Final Four weekend at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, which means the quarterfinals taking place on March the 31st will determine the remaining 3 seeds in that Final Four tournament. Weiss looking for Laskowitz on the far side. It was high over top of him and off the glass, so Charbonneau will let it bounce back up to Weiss. They take his shot away. Now Laskowitz, Weiss with room, off the post, and this one's gonna go down the net, down the turf. It's been a long hockey season, folks. As Laskowitz over to the far side. Laskowitz, Johnson, Van Every with a pick. Back for Laskowitz and Van Every. Big hit in front. Johnson was looking for a call. It's not coming. Weiss to Laskowitz now. Back for Van Every on the crease. They look for Johnson. A couple fakes and a goal. The second 10-4. The largest lead of the night now for Six Nations. And yes, it is 5-on-5. The bench just confirming that. But because of the 5-minute penalty, Steven Berger having to serve all 5 minutes. Triolo will step in against Riley Johnson, and Johnson wins that cleanly. Straight back, that is Kessler Doolittle wearing number 19. And Dan Weiss had that chopped out of his stick by Triolo. Ryan Nolan to St. John. Looking for Triolo near side, and Doolittle cuts back the angle off the errant pass. Pardon me, it's Vern Hill. Nolan gives him a weak bump. As Dan Weiss winds up. Danton Miller the shot off the backboards. Bounces straight for Braden Hill, who gets it back up top for Miller. Hill coming to provide a pick. Miller now heads to the net. A bouncer in front. Vigneault had gone down. That hit him in the throat protector. He'll stand up and quickly go up the floor to Tchaikovsky. 6-goal deficit here for the Outlaws to overcome as Kranz covers up the ball. Triolo runs past him. And Van Every around the corner, a high step here for Weiss. Roger Weiss and Van Every through the middle looking for Alex Martin. And that one bounces aside where Charbonneau will pick up. A number of these Six Nations names who have played for and won President's Cups with cups plural with the Six Nations Rivermen. As a sidearm shot there goes in and hits Warren Hill. Just speaks again to the chemistry a lot of these players have coming into this winter ball season. Whether it's arena lacrosse or otherwise. Substitution penalty. The Florida put 5 in the set, but with 1 back. I believe the Snipers got caught again. So closing in on the halfway mark of the period, which would take us to the officials' timeout as it drops down in front of Webster Green and Vern Hill. John St. John able to corral it. Good stick check and then a huge hit there. I believe it was either Kranz or Alex Martin close to going back in the crease for Webster Green, who now gets it cleanly for Laskowitz and his Coburg Kodiak teammate, Rance Vigneault, there to slam the door as it's off his shoulder. One of the unique aspects of a league like this, where you have teammates in the summer facing each other in the winter. Webster Green tap dancing around Tchaikovsky to win the loose ball. Triolo will cut his angle. Bouncer up for Van Every. And now Roger Weiss up top. 6.5 minutes remains in the quarter. Snipers still killing off this penalty. They don't seem too concerned with 2 seconds left on their shot clock, as it'll be dumped into the corner, and that will be the officials' timeout. You're watching Arena Lacrosse League action brought to you by the JVI Sports Network, sponsored by Epoch Lacrosse, Froster, Active Kids, Circle K, and Fox 40. The Outlaws up top with it, Tchaikovsky. Now Triolo on the power play here for Oshawa, as Goddard in the corner for St. John. Tchaikovsky again, Goddard. A lot of movement here on the right side. Only one more left to touch it. High pass, John St. John couldn't corral it. As now it's down into the stick of Braden Hill and out over the line. Cutting through is Laskowitz. Pass doesn't make it as there's tough defense being played on the near side. Kessler Doolittle jogs away after passing to Van Every. Shot off the end boards. Triolo will jog up over center. Oshawa Outlaws lacrosse brought to you by Whiskey John's and Bang Bang Burrito this year. If you're in Oshawa for a game at the Children's Arena, you can stop by Bang Bang Burrito. In front, Vern Hill. Couple dance moves there, and Vigneault slams the door again. Final 5 of the quarter. Should be go time here for Oshawa, if it's not already. This will be brought over the line by Cam Mancini. Gets to the crease and toes the line as he tried to dive through. Collision with Jake Kranz, who shoves him aside. Chancey Johnson ended up on the carpet. I heard some chuckling there as well, so not sure what happened to our right side. He now cuts to the net. Him and DeBrone, that's a lot of red shoes going down on the right-hand side of Rance Vigneault, but Mark DeBrone and Chancey Johnson get tied up. Ball goes out of play. And it'll be Oshawa that brings it over center, led by Triolo. Triolo cuts the corner. He's got room. Shovels a shot towards the goal and scores. goals, that is. Of course, Laskowitz last night with 10 points here in this building against Whitby. As there's a couple big collisions as they fight for this draw. Tchaikovsky takes it in, and that skips past the net and up towards the restraining line. Big hit here as Dan Weiss controls, breaking away from the triple team. Dan Weiss still with it. Weiss now stripped from behind as Nolan comes in. Oshawa can't pick up, still on Six Nations shot clock, but they did reset as Weiss gets it back now to Johnson, and the bench comes alive in support of Dan Weiss. Far side, Laskowitz faked the high shot, goes low, unable to get around Charbonneau. Charbonneau and Laskowitz again, posturing up. Van Every, high pass intercepted. As Oshawa led over center by Paul Jelly. He now passes to Mancini. Mancini near side, pushed away from the fan. Now knocked down as he passes to the far side. Lefties with it, now Triolo. Mancini setting the pick. He comes back, shot from Andreoli into the stick of Alex Martin. 3 on the clock, and Triolo does get a fresh 30, but nobody there to pick up the rebound. Arena Lacrosse League Women's League took place for the first time this year, and Six Nations captured that championship over Paris. Again, the inaugural Women's Championship, much like the Junior ALL League. The women hoping for more teams in the 2019 version. 3-on-1 here for Oshawa. Low shot from St. John off the foot of Warren Hill, who has been the biggest factor in this game. As Jake Kranz, the give and go now, the shot, and the save from Vigneault. Picked up and jogged near side by Ferizovic, enough to stop the 8 count. John St. John has to dance around Vern Hill. St. John still with it. Tchaikovsky now. Single 7 to double 7. And as he tried to go back to Goddard, it was too high. Kyle Isaacs unable to pick up. Minute and a half left in the quarter. As Vern Hill brought it up over center. Wenster Green and Van Every. Looking for Van Every. Oh, Van Every here. Oh, looked like he was looking for Wenster Green and it got away. And it went straight back to Van Every. DeBrone with speed back the other way, though. Shovels it through, looking 5-hole. And DeBrone goes down with help from Wenster Green, it looks like they're going to say. 13, 18, and 22 over the Snipers. And as we said, women's division looking for more teams in 2019, as is the Frosters Active Kids Circle K Junior Arena Lacrosse League. A bench minor also assessed, so we're 5-on-3 right now in favor of Oshawa. Triolo looking far side for Goddard. That skips away. Safety valve is Tchaikovsky. As we hit the last minute of the third quarter. Behind the back, onto the crease for Goddard. Saved by Hill. And Hill's just going to leave it in the crease, so they don't reset the shot clock. Hill is going to launch it the length of the floor off the top of the glass and just over top of Nolan and Laskowitz to get into the crease. There for Vigneault. Triolo towards Tchaikovsky, drops down, and again Hill picks it up, and again down the floor. And this time Laskowitz does get a stick on it. 22 on the shot clock, 23 on the game clock. Double team here for Laskowitz. Shot that into the foot of Andreoli. Vigneault's got it now, though. 15 on the clock, with which Oshawa can run a play here on their 5-on-3 before we change ends for the final time. Here's Triolo. Goddard down low. He scores in the third quarter. A pair for Goddard and Triolo. But Roger Weiss leads them all with his hat trick. 2 of them on the power play. Wenster Green with a pair as well. Wayne Van Every Big chop after the face-off there as Jelly won it. Nobody really wanted it with 3 seconds left, but the Snipers. Last call here inside the ILA as the Oshawa Outlaws have trailed since the get-go. 4-0 was what they jumped out to in terms of a lead, did the Snipers. And Oshawa trailing by 4 right now as we head into the final quarter. John St. John from up top. If it means anything to you, the Snipers did play last night. They were missing a few players. Shot there off the mask of Hill, and he drops to a knee. They're going to give Warren Hill a second here. The Arena Lacrosse League is regarded as the top winter indoor league outside the pro ranks, providing a high-level development league for players with pro ambitions. Hill looks to be okay. He's going to stay in there. As the shot here comes from St. John, as we were saying, Snipers did play last night. So statistically speaking, that doesn't really mean much, as the team that plays on back-to-backs is Triolo takes a shot, and it'll be reset as Mancini regains possession. The team that plays on back-to-back nights has a better record, and it's not even close. Here's Triolo shooting wide in the game of lacrosse, but common sense would dictate that perhaps the Snipers may slow down here in the period if they're tired. That goes off the hand of Jake Kranz and up out of play. This is a good start to the quarter, as all minute and a half that we've played so far has been in the Snipers' end. But so far, only that one shot getting through to Hill. This goes up top, St. John behind the back, Triolo, and a save from Miller. Wasn't sure where it was, thought he had it, recovers just in time to make another one. Oh boy. Quickly down floor there for Wenster Green. A awkward reception, but a goal from Laskowitz. Great save at one end, leads to a goal back the other way. And that extends the lead to 5. It was as high as 6 at one point, but it's hovered around the 4 mark all evening. Oshawa just unable to close the distance here tonight. And Warren Hill, a big reason for that. As he has been spectacular. Here's a shot from the far side, and that squeaks through the legs of Vigneault. And I believe that's Riley Johnson after securing the faceoff. And that'll stretch the lead to 12-6 as we played just over 2 minutes here in quarter number 4. Kyle Isaacs at the dot this time. Same result, though, as the Snipers with possession off the faceoff, as Laskowitz will hang out at the restraining line. Up top here for Cecil Montour. Hard shot off the backboards. Bounces dangerously in front for Oshawa. The steady hands of Triolo there to pick it up in that long, slow, smooth stride. Drags it up the floor. We got to count his strides one time. I'm sure he makes it down floor in about 7. As Laskowitz, near side, Vern Hill now out of the corner, looking for Hill, returning back. He's gone through the crease, so he can't touch it, as Carl Legger's there. And now as Hill puts the body on Legger. It'll be possession for Oshawa as they come up over center. Shaykowski had a man off the bench, but the pass just didn't connect as it's intercepted here and ran up over center. Darius Anderson starting the play out. Again, both of these teams already qualifying for the quarterfinals. Toronto Monarchs will not take part in that. They'll host Final Four weekend, April 7th and 8th at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. That ball bounces off a body in front and ends up in behind Rance Vigneault off his body. As Riley Johnson back out for it. Head-to-head with Ryan Nolan this time. And no movement as they're all over each other. Johnson ducked the head, and the call will go against him yet again here tonight. Seems like the only time he's lost a draw is when it's been taken from him by the official. As Andreoli, a brief stumble, but regains his footing to send it to the far side off the tip of the stick from Triolo and out of play. That's going to result in Vern Hill taking it down the near side. Hill looks to the far man, Danton Miller. And Miller will find Laskowitz off the bench. Laskowitz here. Heavy pick on the near side by Alex Martin, no call. This one over the head of Lager. He's going to chase it down, though, as it plays off the glass during the final 10 minutes of regulation. Charbonneau. He'll wait out the change, now gives Triolo, who takes a big whack from Braden Hill. Tie up in front here. And off the boards to Tchaikovsky. No one picks him up, and he's going to score. Under 10 to play in the fourth quarter. 13-7 here for Six Nations. Triolo chases down that face-off, gets to Nolan. Surveys the situation, and now we'll head off, get the offensive unit out there with 15 on their shot clock. Goddard takes high position, now cuts down low to the crease, back for Charbonneau. No lane for him to shoot, spins back and fires, and that one off a body. I believe that is, Cecil Montour. Van Everill picked this one up as the Snipers get it back again. Should Six Nations win here tonight, they'll jump into a tie for fifth place with Oshawa. Coming into last night, they were in seventh and way behind as Weiss tries the air gate goal, diving from behind the crease, but stuffed there by Vigneault and then landed in the crease, which provides Oshawa with possession. St. Catharines just above that, 6-6 coming into the evening, but they face the Monarchs tonight, a game that you can see on the YouTube channel from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Looking glove side there was Nick Andreoli, and Hill with yet another save. Big reason score is the way that it is here tonight. Kessler Doolittle dancing around the near side as Weiss now gives to Laskowitz. Laskowitz all alone, floor opens up, takes the shot. Nice recovery, though, just in time by Gage Board to get in front of that shot and force it high into the safety netting. Paris in second place. They're hosting a game tonight, the second of their weekend. They can be in second place all alone as Laskowitz works around a moving screen, so Oshawa awarded possession here. Standings all over the place heading into the weekend, and picture may not become that much more clear after tonight either, with only about a week left in the regular season. St. John takes a wide shot. That gets as far as the face-off restrainer. Goes to the far side. Tchaikovsky can't handle it clean. 3 seconds left in their shot clock. Dangerously close to center. He'll just spin and rifle it down the floor. And 7:38 outside of officials' timeout territory. But leading the entire standings is the Toronto Monarchs, 9-2 on their season, hosting 2 games this weekend at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center and hosting Final Four weekend as well, April 7th and 8th. On the 7th, 4 p.m. and 7:30. As Vigneault makes another save, Oshawa come racing in. Goddard the shot and the goal for his 3rd of the night. He's got one shorthanded on the power play and even strength as well. But that'll just make it 13-8 with 7-11 is semifinal Saturday. And then the ALL Cup final at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center on April the 8th. Those matchups, the entire schedule, and ticket details available at arenalacrosseleague.ca. Triolo looking to pick this one up. It'll be flipped out of play. And the Outlaws have work to do. Only 6:58 left to do it in, and they trail by 5. Cecil Montour stuffed on the far side, but when it bounces back to the right side, he recovered in enough time to score the 14th sniper goal of the game, 13-8. Johnson and Nolan again after the 2nd goal of the game for Danton Miller. Near side, Laskowitz. Again, all alone. He's going to take it way high. Alex Miller plows his way through the center. Final man off the bench on the far side. Danton Miller has the hat trick. Started with only 3 wins, although one of those was an OT victory over the Paris Riverwolves last week, 15-14. As Tchaikovsky down the far side, they get it back in front, and the arm save from Warren Hill. This is a recording. Goodness, he's been on point here this evening. Danny Weiss. Danton Miller. Luke Laskowitz in front. Roger Weiss, the huge shot. Save made by Vigneault. We near 5.5 left in the quarter, and Oshawa has to find something here and do it in a hurry. Way up top, Danton Miller. Weiss working out of the far corner. He takes the big shot. It's wide off the boards and over center. And it'll be started in the corner by Mike Triolo. With 5:17 left and a 7-goal margin that the Outlaws need to close. And that's not the way to do it as Mancini. Triolo missed it initially, and then Mancini wasn't ready for it. As now Andrioli recovers. St. John, Triolo, far side. Wenster Green on him. He goes low behind the back, and Kranz plays it off the glass. An Oshawa player falls in behind the play as Woodman takes the shot. Riley Johnson runs over his man who only briefly touched the ball. As Goddard will jog it up over center with 4.5 left in regulation time. It would appear that after entering the weekend 7th and dead last in the league, the Six Nations Snipers are going to leave in 5th place, tied with the Oshawa Outlaws. Here's Vern Hill. He wants his man to stay wide. Hill shot it wide, and the bench wants the Snipers to use this shot clock. 10 seconds left in it, as there's a big whack into the stick of Cecil Montour. Oh, what a save. Oh, it's not a save from Rance Vigneault. He got over to get his body in front. And with Oshawa making the goalie change, that'll be the end of the night for Warren Hill as well. Here comes Marco Selick into the game, and my vote for first star is getting a lot of fist bumps and congratulations as he makes his way back to the home bench. Again, 3:51 left, and looks like both teams are waving the white flag here, as Nolan will win this faceoff. Nick Andrioli at the restraining line. He'll walk it out to the wall. Andrioli, the no-look pass for Tchaikovsky. He can't handle it cleanly. Drops in front of Darius Anderson. And Riley Johnson now. Johnson through a crowd. Far side, Roger Weiss. Low shot and wide by Danny Weiss, as it's played off the wall and eventually into the stick of Gage Board. Board has help. It's John St. John around his back to Triolo, the flip to Goddard. And that one rolls errant into the corner. Identical 5 and 8 records now for the Oshawa Outlaws and the Six Nations Snipers, and John St. John is going to score around Sullivan. And that's his first of the game. We'll make it 16-9. As Cecil Montour wins the faceoff from Ryan Nolan. Reaching for it is DeBrone. Nolan regaining possession, looking for Triolo. Pressure on him, forced that wide, and Triolo slams his stick in disgust as it's picked up here by Six Nations, who now have a 7-goal lead. Big rip and a goal from Roger Weiss. The score here for Six Nations, who are going to roll to a 3-game win streak back-to-back here this weekend. And I think they have one more before quarterfinal week. And Whitby sitting 7-6, St. Catharines 6-6. And Six Nations will be 5-8. So I'm trying to do the math while I watch the game, while we watch Tchaikovsky complete his hat trick. But that would host the 4-5 seeded quarterfinal. Again, we'll go 2-7, 3-6, and 4-5. As here's the shot coming in by Kyle Isaacs, and it's shooting gallery time right now but again, arenalacrosseleague.ca is where the quarterfinal schedule will be. They will be played on March 31st with teams, venues, and times yet to be determined. And then Final Four weekend, as this one gets away from the Outlaws. Tchaikovsky again. Well, it's garbage time, but 4 goals on the evening is still a pretty good night for a lacrosse forward, and Tchaikovsky's done that. Again, like we said, March 31st. Venues, teams, and times to be determined. arenalacrosseleague.ca is where you'll find those following our games next weekend. And then the Final Four from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, April 7th and 8th, as the Snipers get one more. Looking for 20 here, I would imagine. 19-11, and again, like we said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Snipers are looking for that magical 20. Pushed ahead by Nolan. And then pushed ahead again. That time by Miller. It rolls through to Bauman, who handles it. Laskowicz bearing down. Final minute of regulation. Chase Anderson all over his man. Shot there off the hand of Danton Miller. He's checking the wing. As Darius Anderson gets out of the way again. Selick falls. Another. The bench erupts as the mask save made by Marco Selic. Laskowicz struggling at center. Chancey Johnson faking to nobody on that far wing. Game and shot clock together, and Bauman makes a save. And the Oshawa bench cheering him on now. Another one as coming out around the corner was Alex Martin. Oshawa defender falls, 10 seconds left. As Laskowitz has it, he's going to rip and score. And that will indeed be 20. There was about 8 seconds left on the clock, which just simply runs out to make your final score 20-11. Again, our producer and director tonight's been Gary Morrison. On behalf of him, our entire JVI Sports Network crew, and the Arena Lacrosse League, my name's Matthew Carrick. We thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.